Cell block D, 4:52 a.m. A guard's flashlight sweeps past a bunk that hasn't moved in 6 hours. It won't move again. By sunrise, the man in that bed will walk through the front gate of a maximum security prison wearing a stranger's name, and nobody will stop him. He built that name from nothing. Paper, ink, patience, and 9 months of watching everyone around him for the one mistake that would set him free. This is how a man erased himself and became someone else. His name doesn't matter anymore. Not really. Not after what he did to it. Call him Reyes, mid-30s, convicted on a fraud charge that should have meant 18 months. It became 11 years, a plea deal gone wrong, a lawyer who stopped returning calls, a judge unmoved by the details. Reyes doesn't rage, he studies. Inside, he notices something most inmates never bother to see. Paper is power. Every prison runs on documents, intake forms, medical releases, transfer orders, visitor logs. Whoever controls the paperwork controls the story of who a man is. Reyes gets a job in the prison's records office. Menial, invisible, exactly what he wants. He watches how transfer paperwork moves. He watches how signatures get verified or don't. He watches the seams in a system built by humans, run by humans, and trusted blindly by everyone above them. The rule he learns first: nobody double-checks a form that looks right. The system doesn't know it yet, but it's just handed a con artist the blueprint to disappear. Word doesn't spread. Reyes makes sure of that. He starts small. A misfiled record here, a duplicated signature there, testing what the system notices and what it doesn't. Nothing. This is where things get interesting. Reyes begins reconstructing, piece by piece, what a legitimate discharge packet actually looks like. Not by stealing one. That would trigger an audit. He builds understanding the slow way, memorizing formatting, learning which forms need which stamps, learning the exact language clerks use without thinking twice. He starts a second identity on paper, a name pulled from an old case file, a man with no outstanding warrants, no living relatives likely to ask questions. A ghost Reyes can wear. But that was just the beginning. A guard grows suspicious of how much time Reyes spends near the records terminal. Reyes gets reassigned, a setback that would end most plans. He waits, rebuilds trust, gets reassigned back within 4 months. The prison made one fatal mistake. It kept believing paperwork was safer than people. It never questioned records, only inmates. Reyes never stops being an inmate on the surface. Quiet, compliant. A model prisoner, they'd later say. Underneath, he's a man reverse engineering his own resurrection. 9 months in, Reyes has what he needs. A discharge order that reads exactly like every legitimate one that's ever crossed that office. Same structure, same procedural language, same administrative fingerprints. The final risk isn't the paper. It's the moment a human being looks at it and decides whether to believe it. He picks a Friday, short-staffed, shift change, the hour when fatigue outweighs suspicion. He submits the packet through the same channel every legitimate discharge moves through. No shortcuts, no side doors. If it's going to work, it has to work inside the system, not around it. A clerk processes it, doesn't blink, initials it. What happened next would change everything. The order moves up the chain. Each signature adds legitimacy the last one didn't have. By the time it reaches the final authorization desk, it isn't a forged document anymore. It's simply the record. Reality has caught up to the paper. Morning intake window. Reyes stands at the property counter. The man whose name will not be his own for much longer. A guard hands him a manila envelope. His belongings, the ones he arrived with years ago. Small mercy of a system doing exactly what it's told. The gate buzzes. Steel slides. Sunlight hits concrete he hasn't touched in years. Nobody stops him. Nobody double-checks him. He walks through processing, through the outer checkpoint, past a guard who says nothing more than a routine goodbye, because on paper, there's nothing left to question. The gate closes behind him. For the first time in over a decade, Reyes is standing on the outside of a fence, breathing air that belongs to no one's schedule but his own. He doesn't run. Running draws eyes. He walks, unremarkable, toward a bus stop half a mile down the road, and disappears into the one thing forgery can never fake: an ordinary morning. The discrepancy isn't caught for 11 days. A routine audit, the kind meant to catch clerical errors, not manhunts, flags a discharge order with a signature chain that doesn't trace back cleanly. By then, the trail is cold. The investigation that follows exposes something bigger than one man's escape, an oversight system built on trust in paperwork over verification of people. Prisons across the state quietly tighten discharge protocols. Cross-checks are added. Signatures now require secondary confirmation that didn't exist before. Reyes becomes a case study, cited in internal security reviews, referenced in training materials on institutional fraud. Not because of violence, because of patience. He didn't break down a wall. He rewrote what the wall believed was true. Whether he was ever recaptured isn't the point of why this story spreads. The point is simpler and colder. Every system that runs on trust has a door in it. Reyes didn't find that door. He built one.